Charles, and I am the Director of Student Services and Development. Get used to that term because we are here to help you throughout your process. So again, congratulations. And I want to, this afternoon's presentation is for us to debunk some myths and realize some truths about university life. So I want us to sit back while we begin our presentation and I take you through an interesting presentation. Now, don't forget, if you have any questions that you would like answered while I go along, you just post it in the chat and we will deal with it as soon as I'm done. So, the myths and truths about university life. Let me tell you which myths and truths we're going to be looking at this afternoon. University is only for rich families. Another one, university is all about the academics. The university online experience is boring. The first year of university doesn't count. And my university degree is all I need. So these are the myths and truths we'll be going through. I'll walk you through. And we'll decide, we'll look at which ones are myths and which ones are actually true. Next. Now, the very first one, and notice this one was placed at the very top because I know for some of you, that is an issue, finances. How do I finance myself at the UWI? Can I do it? Can I do it alone? And the anxiety that is surrounded by that whole financing of the degree. So I looked at it first. So let us see if this is a truth or a myth. University is only for rich family. Nope, that is a myth. That is so untrue. And I will show you how the untruth about this, how it is a myth. Some of you may be saying, well, my mom won't be able to afford the tuition. I have younger siblings who have to be put through school. My dad just got laid off. Some people might say I'm a single parent. How do I finance this degree? Let me walk you through. Next. So, as a first-year student, we have a number of scholarships and bursaries. So that same department we spoke about, take a note of it, write it down, Student Services and Development, DSSD. In this department, in this division, there is a department that deals with scholarships and bursaries and financial aid, and will also advise you with GATE and student loans, etc. So as a first year, we have a set of bursaries and scholarships put aside for first years only. So you're taken care of. And don't you worry, once you have registered, you come. Some of you who have already gotten your acceptance letters, some of you who are waiting. Once you get in and you're registered, you will see the dates for you to apply and to be eligible to apply for those very scholarships. Now, some of the scholarships are very large scholarships. Some of them go up to $20,000. Some of them are just bursaries, $5,000, $3,000. But whatever the amount, it will help with something, your living expenses, your books, etc. If you are non-national, if you're non-Trinidadian students, Trinidad and Tobagoan student, you too can also apply for a bursary and a scholarship once you have registered, so you are not left out. The Trinidad and Tobagoan students, remember you have access to the GATE. So ensure that you do all your assessments to get your GATE funding and get on board with that as soon as possible. Some of you may say, but my grades, my CAPE grades are not the best. I still encourage you. I want to encourage you to still apply, because some of the scholarships or the bursaries may look at financial need, We look at grades as well, but there's a great emphasis on some of them on financial need. And you'll hear more about that as well as we move along. So don't say, I do not have the grades, I cannot apply. I urge you, look for it once you've come in, you have registered, look for the dates. And if you don't see it, I urge you again to take down that name, DSSD, and at the end of the presentation, you'll get all ways that you could contact us, so you could write us. Right? Another thing, you do not play a sport. You may say, well, I do not play a sport. I do not volunteer. I have no extracurricular. I want to tell you it's not too late. I want to encourage you, though, to engage in extracurricular, volunteer, because a lot of the scholarships ask for that. Not all of it, but most of them do. So ensure that you highlight that once you have registered and you have applied for a scholarship. Right? So these are the ways you could start planning how it is you're going to finance your degree. You could take it year by year. You could come to that very department called Financial Advisory Services. I'm saying it slowly so that you could write it. Financial Advisory Services, which is part of the DSSD, and they will advise you accordingly. So I want you to take down your anxiety, breathe, and help you plan how you're going to finance your degree. Next. Now, some useful tips. You apply for the scholarship, like I said, for bursary or financial assistance. Again, you have to engage with the Department of Financial Advisory Services, right? You could you could get student employment. While you, even online, we do have student employment even in the online platform. So you could be remote and still get a part-time job on the campus. So that, again, that is another department, careers, co-curricular and community engagement. You look for that as well. You look for the ads once you have come in and you have registered, and then you could apply to do student employment, and your earnings you will save to help you finance your degree. And of course, there's always the option of a private student loan. You take a student loan and to help you finance it year after year as you go along. So don't feel sad, don't get too worried or anxious, because there are ways for you to plan out how it is you're going to finance your degree and to take you along this important part of life's journey. Next. Now, myth or truth? University is all about academics. I'm sure you know the answer to that. This is such a myth. It is not. And if some of you are thinking that university is all about getting a degree, getting qualified alone, it is not. Let's go through it. Next. I want, when you think of coming to the UWI or any other institution, some of you would have received your acceptance letters, some of you still pending, some of you may come to us, some of you may go elsewhere. But I'm saying to you, wherever it is you go, your university degree, it is not only, your university experience, is not only about the degree. The degree is important, yes, but I want you to think of developing holistically. What do I mean by that? I want, when you enter UWI, the person who exits UWI in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years is a totally different, well-grounded and well-rounded student. That means all aspects of self should be developed. Your physical, your emotional, your social, your spiritual, and your mental. So I'm going to walk you through what I mean by that and how do you do that. Because you have to remember, students, once you leave university, employers are no longer saying, what kind of degree do you have? They want to hear about your experiences that encourage you and help you to develop holistically. So your parents, your peers, your friends should see a different person coming out, and different meaning totally developed, mature, grounded, and well-rounded, right? So physically, of course, you do the physical things. You take care of your physical health. You watch what you eat. You make sure you exercise, and you make sure you engage in physical activity to keep the physical body going. Emotionally, what do I mean? Emotionally, you must develop as well while you're at university and while you are at the UWI. You have to learn what your feelings and your emotions are. You have to recognize your own feelings and those of others. You have to develop trusting relationships. That is where you learn all these things in your university environment. How do I develop a trusting relationship? How do I practice compassion? How do I manage my feelings and impulses? How do I take control of that? And how do I understand generally how to manage my emotions? So you have to get involved in activities that to help you develop that emotional side of you. Some of you may require counseling. Listen, and there's nothing wrong with counseling. At the UWI, there's counseling services. You'll hear more about it later. So these are the different resources you need to tap into in order to develop yourself emotionally. Right? Socially, what do I mean? Once you have left any university, you must know how to focus on how you interact with others. You must have those social skills. A lot of you now, especially this generation, tend to be on their tablets and interface a lot with technology and their computers, etc. But your social skills may be suffering. So at your university, you have to ensure that you develop your social skills. You will need it once you have gone out into the world of work. And you have to know how you process your actions, how to behave, what you should say, what you shouldn't say, and the timing of your behavior. Again, all these aspects could be helped developed by the different resources at the various universities you may go to, and for sure at the UWI. You also have to develop spiritually. And what do I mean by that? This spiritual aspect focuses on developing your personality towards religion. You have to understand your spiritual side and your religion. You have to develop that as well. You have your spiritual desires must better your personality. This is the time to do it. This is the space to do it. Right? You could doing this, developing yourself spiritually, will bring wisdom, insight, encouragement, and support. It will give you the kind of support and grounding you need to go through your university experience. Another part, mentally, you have to focus on your mental health. You have to ensure that you do not get in a depressed state. You have to understand your sense of identity, your purpose, and you have to learn how to control anxiety. So as you see, entering a university is not only about academics. You have to make a goal and make it a point to develop all aspects of self. Many a time employers meet me or meet my other managers and colleagues and say, listen, our students are bright, but they are shy. They don't have a position on something. They do not know how to organize. You do not want that to be said about you. So you have to come with a purpose of saying, I am going to get the degree and I'm going to do well at my academics, but I will also ensure that I pay attention to my physical development, my emotional development, my social development, my spiritual and mental development. So that myth about only academics, no, it's a whole lot more you need to carry with you and to ensure that once you leave, all these aspects of self are well developed and your confidence levels are very high. Next, let's look at another myth or truth. Now, there's another one. To get good grades, I have to stay up all night to study. Now, some of you may say that's a truth. I rather say it's a myth, because you do not, operative words there, you do not have to. If you do not keep on top of your work and do not study and do not plan, you may have to, but you do not have to. Next. Let's look at that a little more. In your degree, while you're pursuing your academics, you make sure you have a schedule and you stick to the schedule. So you do not find yourself having to do all-nighters. It is not healthy for the body. Remember, we spoke about your physical health, looking after the physical body. This non-sleep is not good for your physical body. So I encourage you to make sure you do a schedule and you stick with it. You prioritize your task and your deadlines. You'll have deadlines, you'll have multiple things coming. Have a big Bristol board, a big screen somewhere that you could put your deadlines and prioritize which one should come first and next, etc. Another thing, focus on one thing at a time. Give it your all, put your all into it and do it well. Have limited distractions. Don't forget, every part of your university experience is important. So you have to share your time. There'll be a time for study. There'll be a time for co-curricular. There'll be a time to volunteer. There'll be a time for you to do counseling. So make sure you carve out your times for all the various activities, and make sure to take breaks. I'm sure you do that, but don't take too long a break, because then you'll throw off your schedule. Okay, next. Another myth or truth. I can do the assignments anytime. Online classes and exams are very easy. And I'll definitely, just wing it, some of you would say, and I'll definitely get an A. I'm sure you know that's a myth. I don't even have to ponder on that one, on you neither. That's a myth. The next. So how do we ensure that we keep on top of the academics and all the other aspects of developing self? You designate a workplace. I'm sure most of you have heard that before. Get a workplace at home, because the remote learning, you have to make sure you have one place. When you go to that place, this is where work begins, and this is where I'll work. You attend your classes. Do not skip class. The classes attendance is important. A register is also taken. So ensure that you get the information and your various notes. Set goals for yourself. We spoke about that. Set your academic goals as well as your other developmental goals in all the different areas we spoke about earlier. Pace yourself. You take a break. You stick to your schedule so you could keep that whole experience healthy and vibrant. And ensure that you review all your class notes so that you could get the grades that you have set down for yourself. Next. Another myth or truth. I heard that the first year of university doesn't count. That is definitely a myth. The first year of your university is ultra important, students, because this first year sets the foundation for the rest of your time at the university. If you do not get it right, you may end up in problems in your second, third, fourth, fifth years. So you have to ensure that you concentrate and pay attention to your first year. Next, let me speak to some areas. You speak about if online, you may not meet friends, you may be worried about that. So in the first year, you may not meet any friends because it's remote. Let me give you some tips on that. Next. This is what I need you to do. You need to start off your first year if exactly what you're doing here. So to those of you who are here today, I want to give you a round of applause, because this is how you begin a solid foundation. You take part in your orientation and your transition programs. They are very important, students. You will find that you may be hearing of a lot of programs, but each program targets something. So you need to do the orientation, and it's called FYE at the UWI. So other institutions will have different types of orientation programs. I urge you to participate. At the UWI, we have something called first year experience. So important is your first year. We have a whole program called first year experience. And in that program, there are a number of activities that will help you with orientation, to understand what your faculty needs, to understand what is required of the library, to teach you how to use the intranet, to teach you how to use your e-learning platform, how you get your grades, how you submit your assignments. Listen, there is an orientation program for all of these. So I want to encourage you to make sure you go on the website, those who are with us at UE, and if you're joining us, the Facebook page for FYE, so you see the different activities coming up. Don't say it is too much. It gives you a strong foundation. So engage in orientation, engage in orientation, engage in orientation. It's important. Another thing you need to do, so for those who are saying, if I'm online, you'll be lonely. No, you join a club, an association, a sports team, virtually, and you will make friends, and ensure that you make friends. There is no reason why you should spend how many years of your life at an institution and live and leave the institution with no other friends than those you came in. Students, I'm urging you, especially at the UWI. You could have a Jamaican friend, a Bajan friend, a St. Lucian friend, a Grenadian friend, a friend from Canada. I mean, our institution is full of students from all over. Make it your business. to connect and build friendships. Remember, part of one of the aspects of self you have to develop is emotional. And the emotional is talking about developing trusting relationships, relationships with your friends. Develop that and make friends. Because trust me, once you have left the university and you start to build your career, all these people will become your colleagues. And you will want to know, I knew that person because I was at university with them. So you could pick up a phone and call them, and the networking will be a lot easier. Take it from me, I've experienced it. Another thing you could do, you get a part-time job, like we spoke earlier. Get a part-time job at university. You'll make friends. You'll understand the university better. You will connect and network with the university. And at the UWI, again, there's a whole department that deals with part-time jobs, careers, co-curricular, and community development. And this department is also part of the Division of Student Services and Development, DSSD. Make that your next best friend on the campus. Sign up to volunteer. Even virtually, remotely, we do volunteer work. So sign up to be a volunteer. That helps develop the other aspects of self we spoke about. Trust me, when you go for an interview, after you have shown your degree, and they wouldn't ask you anything about how did you do in maths or what you thought about the psychology course. They will say to you, tell me what you did throughout your university experience that shows me you can organize, you can problem solve, you can work in a team. And these are the experiences you'll have to fall back on. Some of you will say, well, I volunteered to do X. Some of you will say, I had a part-time job. And that is why I'm saying to you, ensure that whole of self is fully developed. And of course, the last one, you participate in university activities. Students, whether it is online, get involved, participate. There are fun activities. And of course, we look forward to welcoming you all face-to-face once we are able to. My university degree, this is the last one we're looking at. My university degree is all I need. Now, this is one of the biggest myths in history. Your university, now many moons ago, that might have been true. Many moons and stars ago. But now, your university degree is not all you need. So this is definitely a myth. At your university, part of your university experience, you need a lot more. Throughout the presentation, I spoke of all the things you need to be doing to develop self. So once you have left your university, you become a proud graduate that is confident, that could problem solve, that could work in a team. And these are the kind of skills and competencies employers require. You have to be able to present. How do you develop those? Ensure that you engage with student services wherever you go, whichever university you go to, whichever higher education institution you go to. Look for student services. At the UWI, again, it is the Division of Student Services and Development. And under that division, there are a number of departments. There's one that will help you academically. So if you're having issues with the academics, just stick with it and struggle. Reach out to the department. They will assist you with your academics. We spoke about bursaries, scholarships, financial aid, and that is another department at the UE, Financial Advisory Services, which is part of the DSSD. Student employment, we spoke about that, and career services. We have that. We spoke about that when we spoke about the part-time employment at careers, co-curricular, and community engagement. You see how many functions in that one department that you could dive into to help develop self. Counseling services. Don't forget, if there's an issue, you may be homesick, you may be down, you may just want to speak to someone. And students, the best part, it is free. If I decide today I really want to speak to a counselor because this COVID and always working from home, I will have to get $1,000 to pay per session. For students, it is free. So you could make an appointment and offload and get guidance. Use it while you're at your university. And for us at UWI, it's called CAPS, right? Student support with students with special needs. If you have special needs, no matter what it is, disabilities, chronic illnesses, there's a department that deals with that as well. You reach out and you will get the support. Some students may need more time for exams. That is a department that will ensure that you get the extra time that you need, okay? And of course, service learning and community engagement. Again, you volunteer, you do community work. All these things will be excellent for your resume, but more importantly, it will ensure that you develop holistically and that university life is exciting. That's what makes it exciting. The development of all these aspects of self, the engaging in all activities, orientation and the like, fun activities, serious activities, joining clubs, participating in your academics. That is what makes that whole experience an invaluable one. And students, let me tell you, you'll never get that time in your life again to be at university, to only have to worry about getting yourself fully developed, making friends, networking. So I urge you to take full advantage of it. Next. So I've gone through the last how many minutes, giving you some information. I don't know how many of you recorded how many myths or how many truths. You could always put it in the chat. How many myths you heard? How many truths were they? Were they all myths? Were they some myths? What you think? And if you have any other myths that you've heard of or anything you want clarified, feel free to put it in the chat and we will definitely answer. So I want to leave you with some information for those who have already received your letters, and those waiting as well. You take down a pen and take your phones, because that's the generation. You take your phone and snap that slide. I hope you snapped many of the other slides as well. And that's the email addresses for student services and development, the DSSD. You could email us any question, any queries, especially if you have joined us. Don't feel lost. We are here to help. There are websites. You go to our websites. The whole university has websites. The various faculties. You'll see the various faculties and the various websites, right? These are our telephone numbers. Join the Facebook group and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to welcoming you online very soon again when we do all our orientation programs. And of course, I'm looking forward to meeting you face to face when the environment permits. So again, congratulations and welcome. I thank you. All the best with your university experience and journey. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charles. And students, I'm seeing that, we are clapping and all of those great things. We want to say thank you so much to Dr. Charles. First year students, we hope that you can appreciate how passionate the UWI family is. And as Dr. Charles would have shared with you, your university journey awaits, and the Division of Student Services and Development, the DSSD, as you would soon come to know it, we are here and ready to ensure that your transition is a seamless one. So let's say thank you to Dr. Charles together for sharing this afternoon. Dr. Charles, thank you so much. We note a number of questions in the chat, and the first thing we want to say to you students is that you are in the right place. We know that you have a lot of questions, and the fact that you've agreed to be part of FYE signals that you are doing the right thing. You are coming to us to ensure that your informational demands are met, and we appreciate that. So now that we've heard from Dr. Charles, who has so well laid the stage for us, we are going to transition into the second segment of our program this afternoon. So I would have mentioned earlier that we have members of our admissions team with us. And at this time, I want to invite the Assistant Registrar for Admissions, Ms. Simone Roberts, to address you briefly. We do have our team members on standby who will facilitate some smaller sessions with you, and we will be going through some very pertinent matters of the registration process, or having received your offer or waiting for your offer, etc. Our admissions team is here to guide you through that. So I invite Ms. Simone Roberts at this time. Over to you, Ms. Roberts.
Thank you so much, Jarrell, and good afternoon, everyone. So Dr. Charles would have had you very excited. You have been accepted. So now what's next? So congratulations to all of you who have been accepted, who have received an offer letter from us for us for you to pursue some program at the St. Augustine campus. This afternoon, some members of our admissions team will take you through what is required of you at this point, having received an offer letter, what is required of you at this point and going forward. So if you have any questions, if you have concerns, this is your opportunity to raise them with the members of the admissions team, and hopefully you get your questions answered, your concerns addressed. And we have, as Mr. Alder would have said, we have several other sessions coming up. So if you do not get your answers today in the sessions that are coming up, you can also ask questions. So thank you so much and congratulations again.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. So students, we are going to proceed to send you invitations at this time to join our breakout room sessions. We have our admissions team members on standby. We encourage you to engage in dialogue. This is where you can actually turn on your microphone, and ask the questions once you are called upon. Our team members will take you through a presentation and then we'll facilitate a question and answer, after which we'll all return to the main session to close. All right, so look out for your invitation to join the breakout room sessions and where you'll be able to engage with our admissions team. Thank you and see you in a bit.
Welcome to this breakout room. My name is Mr. Garth Jones from the admissions office. I have a small presentation for you all just to give you all insight of what you'll be doing next. So most of you all would have gotten an offer letter by now. Yes. Am I correct? All right, yes. You have no idea what to do next. This is your first time at the UE, you don't know what to do. So we'll give you a little insight as to what you'll be doing next. Nothing to worry about, just to give you a little introduction, right? And at the end, if you have any questions, you can always ask me.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, so. All right, so as of 2009, the university moved away from physical letters giving you acceptance to the university, right? So we would have sent you an email indicating your application was successful, and you'd have accessed your offer letter using the online track that we have available using your login ID and PIN that you created when you started your application, right?
Yes.
All right, so you've been accepted, and these are the following things that you would have gotten, or links you'd have seen on your electronic offer package, all right? I saw a comment in the last session, what is an offer letter or whatever, acceptance letter? That is a letter that indicates that you've been accepted to the university. It has your ID number on it, right? And this is the letter that you'll be uploading for GATE later on. So I know some businesses have questions about GATE. We'll get to that a little later, all right? All right, so these are the things that you'd have gotten in your electronic offer package, your offer/acceptance letter, the acceptance offer reply form, which is very important, all right? Your welcome letter, financial information, medical form/medical information, first year experience information, library information, GATE, undergrad scholarships and bursaries, and student life and development department, all right? Has everyone gone through all these documents on your acceptance package?
Yes.
Okay. At the end of this, when I'm finished.
Hello, good day.
Hi.
Hi, so I received the offer letter, but I did not receive the entire package with, the financial information and the medical forms and so forth. So it was just a offer letter, but with hyperlinks to some other
Right, that's correct.
pages.
This is what I'm talking about here. All of these will be hyperlinks, right? In your electronic acceptance package. So
okay, great. Thank you.
You log back in. Are you seeing any of these things?
Yes.
Great. All right, so at the end, I'm letting everyone know, please read through all of the information that is here, right? Because at some point in time, you'll need to either respond. The medical form needs to be done within a certain time. The acceptance/offer reply form has to be done within a certain time. your gate information. You also need to understand that as well. And of course, your first year experience, which we are in now, right? So we'll move on to the next slide. At the end, if you all any questions, you could always ask me. That's not a problem. All right. So you've been accepted, and you have this acceptance reply form. So this is how you respond to it. All right. To indicate that you've accepted or you have turned on the offer. You have to send back a signed copy to the admis@sta.uwi.edu or ugapply@sta.uwi.edu. Right. Retain a copy of the offer letter for your records. So try not to lose it or delete it or anything like that. You'll have access to track your application up to a certain point within your UE career. So within the first year, you'll have access to it. After that, you'll have to use either use your records or ask the university for a copy of it, right? Because it wouldn't be on that system forever. It would be just there for about a year, right? So make sure and save it. All right, so for some persons, they would have gotten an offer that is not their first choice, right? And they'll have questions about that. These are some of the reasons why, right? So there's a possibility you didn't possess the qualifications for your first choice program, and the fact you would have offered you something that you are qualified for, or something that they looked at your grades, what subjects you did, and what possibly you could fit into, and they offered you that, right? Or your first choice program is still be considered, and a decision would have been made on your second, third, or fourth choice. So persons who had applied, for example, medical sciences, they normally take a while to make a decision on their applications. So the other faculties may have offered you probably something in science and tech, food and agriculture, stuff like that. It doesn't mean that you didn't get into your first choice. It just means that they haven't considered you as yet. But even if you accept the offer, your second, third, or fourth offer, you are still being considered for your first choice, right? So it doesn't, if you say I'm taking my, let's say a degree in biology, it doesn't mean that you're no longer being considered for medical sciences or law or anything that was your first choice, all right? So you'll still be considered. So you can get multiple offers. The university no longer gives you one offer and that's it, right? So you can get an offer for multiple faculties and you could decide which one you want, okay? So moving on. Right, so some persons would have either, let's say you've been offered a program that you probably really don't want, right? You can make a request to change, right? Change your choices around if you want to, or be reconsidered for something else. All right, so this is the email addresses again that you'll be sending those requests to, all right? Okay. You can just take a note of it now, while it's on the screen, and you must address it to the Assistant Registrar, Student Affairs Admissions. Now, try to get these requests in before the end of July, right? So it'll give us some time to make decisions because classes start September and August is usually kind of hectic time. So we try to have all the meetings and stuff and clear up everything so that you all can start your program by September. So anybody who wants to make any changes, please do so before the end of July, okay? All right, so this is where we are at now. All right, so while you wait for orientation, academic advisor and registration, all right, please read and review the other documents and visit the other links available in the offer package. So these things, complete and submit your medical form. So there is information as to how you'll be doing that at this time. Of course, because of COVID restrictions, you wouldn't be able to come on campus right now, but you can email the form back to the health service unit. All right, so when you look at the information for the medical form, how you're getting it done, your own doctor will fill out that part of it. You fill out one part, and you will forward the form to our health service unit for processing. All right. Okay, hold on. Jeremiah?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, is there a specific time period to send in the medical form? Is that like during post-registration or before, like in June?
Right, so the medical, because depends on your situation, right? Some persons may not have been vaccinated. If you look at, when you look at the form, you'll see you have to get your vaccination records updated by your doctor. There are some persons who probably haven't gotten vaccinated for certain things, or they don't have the medical records right away and may take them some time. In those cases, we would give you until the end of October, right? So you will have a medical hold on your account up to that point, but it would not affect registration or anything. It would not affect any access to anything. So try to get everything done. I'm not saying to wait until the end of October, but try to get it done earlier. But if not, you have until the end of October this year to complete it, okay? Somebody else had their hand up? Nathan? Hey? Who has their hands up just a while ago?
Hello, sir. Henry.
Yep, hearing you.
For someone who went to the N1, who did the N1 program, would they need to send in a new medical record?
All right. The medical form is valid for 5 years, right?
Oh.
How long ago did you submit the form to the health service unit?
Where's this, sir?
How long ago did you submit the form to the health service unit?
I think it was in January.
January?
Yeah.
It should be okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Right, so what you'll do, you'll still have to visit the link for the HSU and contact them and let them know.
Okay.
Put on your phone, they may put on a new hold. So just let them know that you're already a student and they will remove it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay? Celine?
Yes.
Hi, the dates for, like, when you click the link for the dates for upcoming activities such as academic advising, it's showing last year's dates. When will this be changed or updated?
Right, so normally that information is updated early August because we have meetings for registration late July to prepare for that. So we wouldn't have any updated dates concerning, well, registration dates have been set already, but academic advising has not. Right, so let's keep checking the website for when those are updated in early August. Navita?
Okay, no problem, thank you.
No problem.
Good afternoon. I know you said that for the persons awaiting feedback for their first choice, they are still being considered. But what advice would you give as there is a deadline to send reply forms for the other choices?
Right, that's what I mentioned. Even if you accept it, right, it's not going to hinder or change us from looking at your first choice. You'll still be considered, right? So I would suggest accepting the offer and wait until we make a decision on your first choice. Because if you don't take it up, that means you're kind of just gambling your first choice only. You'd have missed the deadline for your second choice or third choice or fourth choice based on whatever date they gave you on the offer. Right, so accept the offer for now, and if you get your first choice, it will override that whatever you submitted before.
Okay, thank you.
Right? All right, let's see. Who else has their hands up? All right, go ahead. Who's next? I don't really see you on my screen.
Hi, good evening. I wanted to find out, so you said that the medical form would be put on hold like October, right? So for medical faculties, well, we have to get, a varying amount of tests, etc. So would that affect the registration and assignment for classes?
No. The medical hold that will be put on your account when you start wouldn't affect registration. It wouldn't affect getting your grades or anything, right? Because we know students will take like in medical sciences, yeah, you're right. The amount of tests that you all need to do first before you can actually submit it may take some time. The only thing that it will affect is if you're applying for a transcript or a status letter, which I guess you wouldn't need until the end of the semester. So by that time, you'd have sorted out your medical stuff and financial information, all that, so you should be okay. All right, so it would not affect anything for you, attending classes or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next slide here. Right, so again, if you need to contact us, these are the main email addresses that you'll be using. Because we're working remotely, you would be able to call us. Hoping that we'll be back on campus from September or October, depending on how things work out with the vaccine programs that the government is out now. So anybody has any questions for me that we didn't cover?
Yes, sir, I have one.
Sure, Faith?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So previously, when I had sent in my the courses that I wanted to apply for, my first choice was in a course, and I ended up asking to change that, right? And I was told that it was taken off, but my acceptance letter came back, and I got accepted into that course, and it is my first choice. But like I don't want to be in that program because of what reasons.
Okay.
So what should I do?
All right. Chances are when you submitted your request, we probably had an entrance committee meeting very soon, or probably within that same week. So it probably wasn't updated in time for them when they printed the reports. So what have you submitted a letter to us indicating you want to change again, or say that you're not accepting the offer and you want to be considered for something else?
No, not yet, because I wasn't sure like if I accepted it, like if it would just create a problem.
Okay. Which program was it by chance?
So I got accepted into HR,
Right.
but I wanted to pursue psychology instead.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. What you'll do is you could send an email to us indicating that you accepted to that program, but you'd like to turn it down and be reconsidered for psychology.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, so you'll be considered for the next meeting. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, any more questions, guys?
Hi, yes,
Hello?
Sorry, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
My offer still says offer letter in progress. You know when I could expect to receive the letter, because it said that for about a week now.
Yeah, what we normally do, when you see that offer letter in progress, it means that they've already put a decision online for you, but they're manually going through letters to make sure it's okay before they send it out to you. Right, so it means you definitely got in, but we just have to make sure the letter is correct. So it takes a little while, maybe hundreds of letters they're going through. So you'll get that status online while they're checking it. Right, so you'll get access to it pretty soon. Answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
All right, no problem. Jemiah?
Yes, I'm asking this on behalf of someone who couldn't be in the meeting. In their online application portal, the section that states they have received the CAPE certificate, Unit 1, Unit 2, O-level,
checklist.
so on. Yeah, they are seeing above the application processing fee of $90. They are seeing something saying late application processing fee. So they are a little confused about that because they have not been accepted into anything yet. They have not applied to anything yet, but her application is saying offer letter in progress. So she is confused about why it states on her application that she has to pay a late processing fee.
Well, if I remember rightly, that late processing fee is part of the application checklist, but we're not using that this year at all because the line hasn't even passed yet. But
yeah, so
yeah, that wouldn't be I don't think that would be a problem. She already got if it's saying offer letter in progress, means she's been accepted.
Okay.
And they're just organizing for her to get. Is there anything else that she's seen outstanding?
Well, in Unit 2, in the CAPE A-level section, she's seeing certified copy for Unit 2, but it doesn't mark that it has been received.
Right. Does she have Unit 2 capers yet, or she's waiting on results?
She sent it in already. She sent in all her notarized copies.
Okay.
And her fee.
All right, that's what to do. All right, so let's send us an email and we'll work on it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Double check it. All right, no problem. Augustus?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Where exactly would we have to check for the offer letters?
All right, so the same link you'd have used to track your application. All right, so if you use your login ID and PIN to track your application, and you'd see your application submitted showing up on the page. If you scroll all the way to the right, you'll have a link for your offer package once you're accepted.
This is on the UE website, right?
Mm-hmm. The same link that you're using. Okay, let's say you just start an application. There is a link there saying if you're a returning user, you can click on here, and that takes you to the tracking application page where you have to log in with your ID and your PIN, and you'll get to that page to verify. Right? You got an email from us saying you accepted already?
Yes, but not exactly for the course. It was just the email with the link for the orientation and saying, welcome to my first day experience.
Okay, no problem. But you can still use that link to track your application and see what's going on. All
okay,
right?
no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Faith Holder.
On my application status, I am just seeing offered pending documents. So I'll just like to know what does that mean and what should I be waiting for?
Great. So if you're seeing offered pending documents, that means there is something definitely there that we need from you. So we would have probably offered you based on what you had. Is it that what did you submit to us so far?
I submitted my CAPE Unit 1 results, my CSAT results, and all the other information. However, I am in the process of doing CAPE Unit 2, and those results will be up until October.
Okay. Were the documents certified? Signed by someone?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, they were.
They were?
Yeah.
All right. What faculty did you apply to?
Human nutrition and dietetics.
Okay. All right, I'll look into this and I'll get one of the clerks to email you back about it, all right?
Okay, thank you.
And also for everyone, I'm glad you mentioned this. For this year only, the university will not be waiting on Unit 2 results to make a decision. So if you did CAPE this year, or about to do CAPE, we are aware that results will be coming out late this year. So we're not going to wait on it. The only faculty that we'll have to wait on the results is medical sciences. Everybody else has agreed to consider you based on Unit 1 only. All right. Ariana Maharaj.
Hi, yes. Would UE be telling us anything about taking the COVID vaccine if we have to come on campus?
Okay. We had a meeting about this yesterday, but we are not, it's not mandatory to have it, to come on campus, right? But as it is now, no one is allowed on campus, right? Campus is closed to the public. The principal will decide how that will work later on. I don't think they can, it's not mandatory because the government stance right now is that it's not mandatory to have it. We can't take that stance either. But it's up to campus management later on what they will decide, right? So let's keep checking our website for information concerning that. All right. Shakiva Phillip.
Hi, I applied as part-time and all of the offers that I got offered me full-time.
Right. So that means when you applied online, you probably may have put the wrong type of application. But that is not a problem. That can be sorted out. So you can send an email to the email addresses I had. I'm gonna put it back up on the screen here for you, right? You can send an email address to any of these email addresses indicating the problem that you're having, and we can make the change. Changing the status is not a problem. But what program you apply to?
Accounting.
Accounting. Yeah, that's offered both. So that's fine. All right, so just send an email to us and we'll fix it for you. That's
okay, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Caroline McNeil.
Hi, good day. I applied to environmental science as my first choice and biology as my second choice. And when I got my acceptance letter, it had both of them as accepted. So I was wondering what that meant exactly, if it was a double major or something like that.
Okay. For most persons in science and technology, your first year, when they're offering you, they don't offer you one subject mostly. Most of the time they offer you either 2 or 3 subject areas. And from level 2, you choose your major basically as to what you want. All right. So when you go for academic advising, they'll be able to explain that better for you, because to make up all your year 1 courses, they may have to give you more than one subject area. All right. So it doesn't mean that you got into a double major. So, but from level 2, you can choose what you want to do or declare what you want to do. All right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Jaden Williams.
Hi, good day.
Hi.
I also have the issue where my application still says offered pending documents, and I'm not sure what to do.
All right. In your case, what are the documents you've seen as pending?
It just says pending documents. I'm not sure. In the decision area, it just says offered pending documents.
And what have you submitted so far?
Everything that they required, my unit 1 grades, my CSEC grades, and everything else. I'm doing unit 2 right now. Yeah.
All right. Now I keep asking this: were they certified?
Everything except my unit 1 grades, because I haven't gotten my certificate for unit 1 yet.
Okay. So the unit 1 grade step that you submitted wasn't certified?
No.
Right. So you need to get that certified at least and send it back to us.
Okay. All right.
All right. And that will now change to offer letter in progress once we get that result in.
All right then. Okay.
All right. No problem.
Thanks.
No problem. Take care. Navita Rampasad.
Hi again. I'm asking on behalf of someone. They are in the process of changing their citizenship status on the application, but they wanted to know if they'll get an extension to accept the program they've been offered, because the deadline to send the offer reply form is Monday.
Hold on. So they're changing their nationality so that they could be what, Trinidadian or something?
Yeah, they had made a mistake and put non-national on the form, and they are currently trying to change that to national.
How are they doing that though?
I'm not sure. They had sent an email to UWI stating how they could change that, and I think she's just following the guidelines from that person.
Okay. Normally in those cases, they'll have to consider, the dean will have to consider that application over, and they'll send back a decision back to admissions, and we have to issue you or the student a new offer letter. You get different offer letters if you're non-national or national, right? I would suggest that she accept the offer for now. And once she has a request in to change that, we would just issue a new offer letter. So that should be fine, all right?
Okay.
Okay. Nathan Raghuvar.
Hi, good day.
Hi.
So I have 2 questions. One is that the link for the undergraduate fees are showing for the year 2020 to 2021. I wanted to know when it would be updated.
Okay. I haven't heard of any changes or plan changes for fees, so you can go based on what you see in there. Now, remember the academic year 2020, 2021 is still going on. So we have classes until next month. So after that, this academic year has ended, that new booklet will be up for you all to view.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? But they have no plans to change any fees. There's no plans at all.
Okay.
All right.
And the second question is, how do I go about applying for a minor?
All right, so you wouldn't be worried about that just yet. A minor would encompass courses that you'll be doing in year 2 and 3. Okay. Right, so for the first year, okay, you'll go through the motions, you get your first year courses. After your first year, you'll now decide, okay, I want to do a minor in whatever area. So when you go for academic advising in year 2, you'd indicate what you want to do and also write asking to do a minor. So you'll be writing the admissions office and we'd forward it to the faculty for you to get approval. But you'll be able to pick up the courses of the minor in the meantime.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, take care. Anila, BPAX.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
I have received offer letters for both my first and second choice, and I have submitted my reply letter stating that I have accepted my first choice. I wanted to know if it is required that I submit a reply letter for my second choice stating that I reject the offer.
Yes, good. What happens is that we need to see that you have turned down the offer so we could remove that from the system. Otherwise, it'll be floating there saying that you have an offer in 2 programs. Right?
Okay,
so once
thank you.
one, please indicate that you're declining the other. Right? So we could record.
Thank you.
That. Right, no problem. Thanks. Naomi?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
If you got accepted to do a special degree, can you still pursue a minor in year 2?
Right. I would say not normally, but in special cases, the faculty can approve for you to do a minor with a special. Right?
Okay.
But they'll be looking at your performance for the first year, and they'll decide from there if you could handle the extra load. Right? Because
Okay,
you remember,
you.
especially your course is already set. So if you're doing a minor, that means you're doing extra courses sometimes. So they'll have to determine if you could handle the load, and then they'll approve it. But it's possible.
Thanks.
All right. Jeremiah Libert.
Yes. One last question. If you have sent in your offer reply form, and in the section where it's supposed to state that the applicant has rejected the offer or accepted the offer, you don't see that it has been updated yet to either one, stating that if you accept it or reject it, and it just states decision made still, and the responding date has passed. Is that okay? That they probably haven't updated it yet, or should it be sent in again?
No. Once you sent it via email, we'd have a record of it. But as it is now, all our staff are working remotely. So using the system that we have, it may take them a little longer to actually update it.
Okay,
But once you send it via email, we have it recorded, no problem. You have nothing to worry about. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see. No problem. Alrighty. Any more questions? Yes, that's it. Oh, hold on. Jabari Daniel.
Excuse, can you hear me?
Yep.
Was the email for the health service unit that we have to send a medical form to?
I don't have it offhand, but when you download the information, the form itself has the email address at the top of it.
Okay, thanks so much.
Right. So when you go into the health service unit or the medical information on your offer package, I think it takes you to their website. It has the information there, who you have to send it to and stuff like that.
Okay, great.
All right, no problem. Sanjeev Sijor.
Hi, good day, good day. With respect, I'm a returning student. With respect to the old email that we had, will it still be up, or we'll have to wait until registration and advising begins to be able to access it?
Your old UE email account?
Correct, yeah.
No, you should have access to that even when you've graduated.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check that.
The
All right,
only,
thank
the
you very
only
much.
thing that only thing that you wouldn't have access to is registration.
Okay.
Right, but everything else you can check your transcript using the login ID and PIN to get into the portal. You have access to everything.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much.
No problem. Nathan Raghubar.
Yeah, one more question. If I receive a national bursary, would I still be qualified to apply for the UE bursaries?
I would know you to answer that, but normally they ask if you have a national score or anything, and if you do, you can't benefit from an additional award, right? So they'd more give it to somebody who didn't have any kind of assistance at all, right? So I'd say no. Right? So once you have a national score, you wouldn't be able to access any other assistance, right? So we're going to Faith Prasad.
Hello, good afternoon. Okay. With regards to GATES, do you have to apply for that after academic advising? And if not, like, how do you know what program you'll have to choose and like those sorts of things?
Okay, for first year students like you all, GATES would be a lot easier to apply for. So they don't have to wait on to see if you pass any courses or if you were required to withdraw from university. So in your case, the only thing they ask for is the offer letter, right? So from July the 1st, GATE will be accepting applications for their assistance. If you haven't gotten a GATE number as yet, so just going onto their website and organizing that for now, because there's certain things you need to get a GATE number. And once the application is open, you can go in and apply for GATE assistance for year one. It doesn't matter the courses that you're going to register for. They will get that information from our financial department. So once you apply for GATE and you get your e-GATE form, you just hold on to that form until registration. I don't want to go too much into it because you might get confused, because a lot of things have to be, during registration, a lot of things that you need to do. But once you do your e-GATE application, just hold on to that form that they give you back until registration happens later on in August. Okay? But their website has all the information for you.
Thank you.
No problem. Jonathan Mohammed.
Hi, good day. I recently started to fill out my GATE application, and when I reached the household income section, I entered my information and I clicked save. However, the website is not saving anything that I inputted in. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it'll take a little bit too early.
Oh, okay.
The system for the next academic year opens on July 1st. So whatever application you did now would be for 2020, 2021, which is the current year we're in. Right,
oh,
so
okay, I see. So I should wait until July?
July the 1st is what I'm saying that'll be open for 2021, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. Anila Bipat.
Yes, hi, good day again.
Hi.
In terms of medical science, where can I access the course listing for pharmacy, if there's one?
Mm-hmm. All right, so if you go into the university's website, right, the main website that is, if you click on current students, there's a link on just on the left-hand side. That's prospective students, current students, faculty and staff. And you click on current students, there's a link that'll open up on the right-hand side. One of them is called forms and booklets, right? When you click on that, and you scroll down, you can look for syllabus and regulations for the Faculty of Medical Sciences, and it'll have the list of courses there.
Okay, thank you.
Right. If that is too much, you can also go onto the main website again. There's a search bar in the top right-hand corner, right? You can type BSc Pharmacy, and it should pull up the link to that booklet as well.
Okay, thank you.
Right, no problem. All right, if I get this name right, Bashira Rafwit.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. Just replying to the person who said that his information wasn't saving on the GATE application.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that it opens on July 1st.
Correct.
I submitted my application on Monday, and I am double checking just to make sure. And under the academic year, it does say 2021 to 2022.
Okay, well, they may cancel that actually. Yeah? What you should do is contact them about it.
Well, I actually contacted them for an error that was actually on the application and changed it. And right now my application status is clearance verified. So what should I do about that? Because they emailed me yesterday about it.
Okay, I just spoke to the manager about it before the session, and she's saying it opens from the 1st of July. All right, so is it Miss Lovelace you spoke to?
I am not sure. Let me check real quick. It just says the email I got is from the Gate e-service administrator. There's no name itself.
Okay. Well, I would say don't cancel anything. Let's wait until July the 1st.
Okay.
And you could contact them then and see if it's still in the system for this academic year.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, because it's very early now for the next academic year. So I know that they said it wasn't open as yet. All right, Navita Rampasad.
I'd just like to mention that I submitted my GATE application in May, and the academic year is also 2021 to 2022.
Yeah, that's well, you see, as I said, it's open for this academic year. So I don't know if it allowed you to apply for it early like that, but what I can tell you is just try to monitor it and contact the GATE office to make sure the application is in. Because most likely from July the 1st, I don't know if that'll be considered for the previous session and they'll have you do it over again, or they could push that application into the next academic year. All right, so let's keep in contact with them and make sure it's fine. But for everybody else, please do your stuff from 1st of July. Hi, Jamila Joseph.
Hi, can you give some information about the student employment opportunities?
Right, well, admissions, I'm from the admissions office. I don't deal with that side of that first year experience. DSSD normally has or offers student employment for students throughout the year. So, example, when we are fully open, right? You can be working as a student assistant in the library. You could work in one of the labs, the computer labs on campus. We have something called ASAs, Admission Student Advocates, where you would give tours to students, prospective students around campus, show them where your classes are, how things, what UWI life is like. They would be able to go out to schools when we go for the presentations at schools and stuff and career days and give us support. All right, but I don't have much information when it comes to the financial bit, how much you get paid. But these are the things that they normally place you in, right? Any special events the university has, we normally put in students to help us out, and you'll be working alongside with our DSSD staff. All right, so there are other sessions for this first year experience, and you may be able to speak to them about that and get some more information. All right, so it's just a brief overview for you. Hope I answered your question. Joel Phillips.
Good afternoon, sir. So concerning the GATE application, right? If your offer is condition based, so like factorial seconds, would you still apply for GATE on like July the 1st?
When you say condition based, what's the condition that you got?
They say that I need a minimum of a grade 2 in PO marks and apply marks unit 2.
Oh, okay. I think you'll have a problem with GATE there. So there's no, you may have to do that later when your results come out. Right? Or you apply for GATE, you may have to contact them to find out how they'll treat with that. But you could apply for GATE assistance and you can submit the updated offer letter as a correction later on. Right? So in your case, the university takes into account these kind of things. So you wouldn't be penalized for getting your GATE stuff submitted to us later. Right? So we'll give you until October for that to be sorted out. Right. The other sessions when it comes to financial information, you can bring that up. I think there's a GATE session probably in the next coming weeks, and persons from the GATE office will be in attendance. So you'll be able to speak to them about it. Right. So just keep checking and paying attention to all the stuff that we send out to you and when these sessions are happening. So you'll get that information. All right.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Alex Snaggs? Sorry, Alexis Snaggs?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
since the medical sciences require the second set of results, is it that our semester would start later or you'll get deferred?
Right. I can't say right now, but this academic year, we started a little later because of that. Right. So I'm assuming that we'll probably follow the same suit. Because the majority of med-sci students are A-level students, right? The persons who are coming in are usually from Cape. So in that case, we would probably make some adjustments to the start date. All right, so let's keep posted for that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we have 54 seconds. Let's get a reminder here. So anybody has any more questions quickly before we go? All right, Faith, Fasad?
With regards to the GATES ID, when you get it, is that the same ID you use throughout the entire FYE when you're applying for GATES?
Correct. So that number you get will be the same number you're using. Even if you come back to postgrad, that's the number you'll be using for your entire university career, even if it's a different school.
And you apply every semester?
Every semester, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Amelia Armstrong, 16 seconds before we get.
How soon should I apply for exemptions?
After you get academic advisement, beginning of the session, beginning of the application registration process, they'll let you know when you can apply for exemptions.
Okay, great. So I think we are all back, and what an afternoon we've had. So students, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Dr. Charles for her riveting presentation earlier today. I also want to say thank you to our admissions team facilitating the breakout room sessions. We trust that the information provided today really was useful. I want to underscore that orientation is a process that cannot be achieved in one sitting. So we know that you guys have a lot of questions, some that would have been answered today, some that you probably still do have, but rest assured, we do have a plan to take care of all of your informational needs. So a reminder that this is session 1 of a 4-part series. We know that there would have been some questions that you guys did not get to go through today, some specific to funding, etc. And I think that you'd be able to appreciate that next week, our session, same time, that starts at the same time, deals with funding and finance. And our admissions team will be back again to take you through, this time, the registration process. So I'm saying that to say, students, that you do have an opportunity to get even more information in the next session, so do not worry. We also want to acknowledge that we will oversubscribe today, and we are grateful for the response that we've gotten from all of you. We will ensure that the next time around we can facilitate an unlimited number of participants. So for persons that may have been bumped off today, we apologize. For persons that did not get on today, we also apologize. But rest assured, we will ensure that for our next session and the ones that will follow, we will have that rectified so that everyone can participate and benefit from the information. So students, your feedback is very, very important to us. We've placed in the chat, or will place in the chat, a feedback link. We really would ask that you take some time just to share your feedback with us so that we can improve future sessions for you. Remember that we do have session 2 of Smart Start carded for next week at 1 p.m. We are going to deal with gate matters, funding matters, and matters relating to student fees. Our admissions team will also be walking you through the registration process that you will need to know. So we ask that you rejoin us again next week. Ensure that you look out for the updates in our FYE Facebook group. We will be posting all of the information there. Again, we will ensure that more persons can benefit from next week's session and the sessions that will follow. So be sure to engage with us. All of the contact information that would have been shared with you, our FYE website, ensure that you engage with us, chat with us. We know that you still have a lot more questions to ask, and we do have a plan to ensure that those questions are answered. So with that, I say thank you so very much. We trust that session 1 was useful, and we look forward to providing even more information in the upcoming sessions and providing you with transition support over the next couple of weeks. So again, thank you for your participation today. Welcome again to your first year experience at the UWI St. Augustine campus. Be sure to share your feedback with us and ensure that you stay connected and, more importantly, stay safe. Thank you again on behalf of the FYE team, and do have a good afternoon. We dancing,